The story begins with a moment of high anticipation, one that captures the attention of the world immediately. Imagine this, the music of an era, a cultural icon in Taylor Swift, preparing to step into one of the most anticipated celebrity weddings of the year. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Every detail of this event has been meticulously planned. The guest list, the decor, the carefully curated ambience. It all tells a story, one that is both personal and public, intimate yet intensely scrutinized. In the midst of this carefully constructed scene, a message surfaces, a request that sends ripples through social media, news outlets, and celebrity gossip circles alike. That request comes from none other than Meghan Markle, a woman whose very presence in public discourse commands attention, controversy, and speculation. The story of Meghan Markle reaching out to Taylor Swift is more than just a simple RSVP. It is a collision of worlds, royalty and celebrity, legacy and modern fame, private lives and public obsession. It all began quietly, behind the digital veil of social media and private messaging, a realm where public figures often communicate discreetly, away from the prying eyes of cameras and journalists. Meghan, known for her strategic approach to public appearances and media engagement, reportedly sent a personal request to Taylor Swift, hoping for an invitation to the exclusive wedding of the NFL star Travis Kelce. On the surface, this might seem like a standard interaction between two high-profile figures, an innocuous desire to witness a significant moment in a celebrity's life. But in reality, the dynamics of such a request are far more complex. The worlds these women inhabit are not just parallel. They intersect with scrutiny, expectation, and calculated image management. Meghan's reputation, her status as a former royal, and her highly publicized life in the United States create layers of meaning behind what could have been a simple ask. The first shockwave of the story, however, comes not from Meghan's request itself, but from the response she received, or rather, the lack of a warm, welcoming response. Taylor Swift, a figure whose influence in both music and cultural commentary is unparalleled, did not respond in the way Meghan might have hoped. Reports indicate that the request was declined, firmly and unequivocally. This rejection, seemingly straightforward, is laden with subtext. It is not just a denial of attendance. It is a statement about boundaries, priorities, and the intricate social codes that govern high-profile events. For someone like Meghan Markle, whose very identity is entwined with public perception, this refusal carries weight beyond the moment. It is a clash of worlds, a collision of fame and privilege, each with its own rules, expectations, and social currency. What makes this scenario particularly fascinating is the interplay of public reaction and media amplification. In today's hyper-connected society, every interaction between celebrities becomes a subject of analysis, speculation, and narrative construction. Meghan's request and Taylor's refusal did not remain private. They became topics of discussion across social media platforms, trending hashtags, and opinion pieces. Fans, critics, and casual observers alike dissected the motivations, implications, and potential consequences of this interaction. What was Meghan thinking when she made the request? Was she overstepping a boundary that should never have been crossed? Or was Taylor Swift simply exercising her right to control her personal space and special day? The ambiguity fuels curiosity, speculation, and, inevitably, debate. Every angle is considered, every perspective debated, and every possible scenario analyzed with the intensity reserved for moments that resonate on both personal and cultural levels. To understand the gravity of this situation, one must consider the personas involved. Meghan Markle is a woman who has lived her life under the unrelenting gaze of the public, whose every decision is scrutinized, celebrated, or condemned. Her transition from Hollywood actress to member of the British royal family, and then back into the sphere of celebrity life in the United States, has made her uniquely positioned at the intersection of fame, influence, and controversy. Every move she makes, every interaction she pursues, carries layers of interpretation. Taylor Swift, on the other hand, is an icon whose life is similarly public but curated with meticulous attention to personal narrative and control over her image. Her decisions regarding whom to include in intimate moments like a wedding are informed not only by personal preference but by a careful consideration of privacy, loyalty, and the message it sends to the world. When these two worlds intersect, the resulting drama is almost inevitable. The middle of our introduction focuses on the intricate dynamics of celebrity culture and social etiquette. Attending a wedding, especially one of the magnitude of a Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce event, is not a simple matter of RSVP cards and personal desire. It involves strategic decision-making, awareness of social optics, and the subtle negotiation of relationships and reputations. For Meghan Markle, whose past has been marked by public scrutiny, attempting to gain access to such an event is a calculated move, one that could either enhance her visibility or expose her to criticism. Taylor Swift's refusal, then, is equally strategic. It is a deliberate act of boundary setting, a choice that communicates her priorities and protects the integrity of her private life from the intrusion of external pressures, no matter how high-profile. This clash of intentions, desires, and social codes forms the core tension of the story, creating a narrative that is as much about human behavior as it is about celebrity spectacle. Adding to the complexity is the role of public perception and media framing. The moment Meghan's request and Taylor's response became known, it ignited a flurry of commentary. Opinion pieces, social media threads, and fan speculation turned the private exchange into a public narrative. Analysts and insiders offered interpretations. Some framed Taylor's decision as an assertion of independence and personal boundaries. Others suggested it reflected the ongoing tensions between celebrity circles and royalty-infused notoriety. The public's fascination with this story is not merely about the personalities involved. It is about the drama that unfolds when private intentions collide with public scrutiny. Every action is amplified, every emotion examined, and every possible consequence theorized. This is the environment in which Meghan's request became not just a personal communication, but a cultural event, a lens through which audiences explore power dynamics, status, and social negotiation. By the conclusion of this introduction, the stage is set for an in-depth exploration of the story's key players, underlying motivations, and broader implications. We will delve into the specifics of Meghan's request, the details surrounding Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding plans, and the reactions from fans, insiders, and the media. We will analyze the social and psychological dimensions of celebrity boundaries, the historical patterns of Meghan Markle's interactions with high-profile figures, and the cultural forces that shape public reception of these events. Throughout this journey, we will uncover surprising details, challenge assumptions, and explore the human emotions and strategic considerations that drive these interactions. The ultimate goal is not only to recount the facts of the story but to illuminate the underlying dynamics that make this moment so compelling, so widely discussed, and so emblematic of the interplay between fame, influence, and personal choice. This introduction also serves as a framework for the dramatic tension that will unfold across the main content of the video. It invites viewers to ask questions, form opinions, and engage with the narrative in a way that is both intellectually stimulating and emotionally resonant. What would you do if you were in Meghan's position? How would you navigate the complex world of celebrity etiquette? Can personal ambition coexist with respect for boundaries and privacy? These questions are not rhetorical. They are designed to draw the audience into the story, to encourage reflection and engagement, and to prepare them for the intricate details, insider accounts, and dramatic revelations that will follow. By setting up these questions early, the introduction ensures that viewers are primed for the unfolding drama, fully invested in the characters and stakes, and eager to see how the story resolves. The introduction concludes with a subtle but powerful promise that this story is not just gossip, not just celebrity drama. It is a window into the complex interplay of power, influence, and human behavior. It is a story that resonates because it reflects the universal tension between desire and limitation, aspiration and reality, expectation and disappointment. Meghan Markle's request, Taylor Swift's refusal, and the ensuing public discourse offer more than entertainment. They offer insight into the social mechanics of fame, the strategic considerations of high-profile individuals, and the cultural fascination with boundary-pushing behavior. The introduction closes by inviting viewers to continue with the journey, promising that the story ahead will be filled with revelations, analysis, and moments that challenge assumptions and provoke reflection. It all began with a private moment that would soon explode into one of the most talked-about celebrity interactions of the year. Meghan Markle, known for her meticulous attention to public image and strategic social positioning, reportedly sent a personal request to Taylor Swift, hoping to secure an invitation to the highly anticipated wedding of NFL star Travis Kelce. While the act of requesting an invitation might seem ordinary in most social contexts, this scenario was far from ordinary. Meghan was not simply another guest on a list. She was a global figure whose every move is scrutinized, dissected, and broadcasted. The stakes were high, and the implications of her request reached far beyond the confines of a wedding invitation. The story begins with Meghan's reasoning. Sources close to the Duchess claim that she had been following Travis Kelce's relationship with Taylor Swift for some time. Meghan, who is deeply familiar with the mechanics of celebrity culture, reportedly saw an opportunity not just to attend a high-profile wedding, but to make a subtle public appearance that would reinforce her relevance within the circles of American fame. This was not just about curiosity or admiration. It was a calculated social maneuver. Being present at Taylor Swift's wedding meant aligning herself, at least symbolically, with one of the most influential figures in music today, while also positioning herself within the orbit of elite American athletes and celebrities. Every detail mattered: the timing of the request, the tone of the message, and the potential public perception if her attendance were granted. Reports indicate that Meghan's message was carefully crafted. It was polite yet assertive, demonstrating both respect and self-confidence, a balance she has learned to maintain throughout her life under constant public observation. The request reportedly referenced mutual acquaintances and previous encounters at charity events and public gatherings, creating a sense of familiarity without overstepping boundaries. Meghan's team may have played a role in advising her on the tone and content of the message, understanding that one misstep could turn a simple request into a media spectacle. This is not unusual for Meghan, who has navigated complex social and professional networks for years, balancing the expectations of royalty with the dynamics of modern celebrity culture. However, what makes this request so fascinating is the reaction it elicited, not immediately, but in the ripples that followed once the information leaked to insiders and eventually reached the public. When a request is made to someone of Taylor Swift's stature, the dynamics are unique. Taylor is a figure who is intensely private about her personal life, despite her public persona. Her decisions regarding whom to include in intimate moments are informed not only by personal preference but by a careful understanding of the social message her choices send. The denial of Meghan's request, whether communicated directly or through intermediaries, carries layers of meaning. It is a statement about boundaries, priorities, and the intersection of fame and personal agency. The refusal is not simply a rejection of one individual. It is a reaffirmation of control over one's personal narrative and a demonstration of the limits of celebrity access, even for someone as prominent as Meghan Markle. To fully understand the context, it is important to examine the past interactions between Meghan Markle and various celebrities. Meghan's life has been a series of high-profile encounters, some celebrated, some controversial. Her marriage to Prince Harry catapulted her into a unique stratosphere of fame, blending the worlds of royalty and entertainment. Throughout this journey, Meghan has cultivated relationships with influencers, actors, musicians, and philanthropists. These connections are complex and often scrutinized for authenticity, power dynamics, and public impact. When Meghan requests access to an event like Taylor Swift's wedding, it is viewed through this lens of prior interactions and accumulated public perception. Observers question whether such a request is motivated by genuine personal interest or strategic visibility, and they speculate about the implications of granting or denying access. The social and psychological dimensions of Meghan's request cannot be overstated. Requests like this operate on multiple levels: personal, relational, and symbolic. On a personal level, Meghan may have genuinely wanted to witness a significant life event for someone she admires. On a relational level, she is navigating networks of power and influence, where attendance at a private event can signal alliance, friendship, or social positioning. Symbolically, her presence or absence, at the wedding sends a message to the public about her standing within American celebrity culture and, by extension, her relevance and influence. This is a calculated risk. The potential reward of social capital is counterbalanced by the risk of public rejection and media scrutiny. The calculus is delicate, and the consequences extend far beyond the immediate moment. Once the request was reportedly received, insiders suggest that Taylor Swift and her team evaluated it with careful consideration. Taylor is known for her meticulous attention to privacy and for managing her social and professional networks with precision. Decisions about wedding invitations, particularly involving high-profile figures, are rarely made casually. Factors such as personal relationships, potential media coverage, social optics, and alignment with the event's tone all come into play. In this context, Taylor's decision to decline Meghan's request, while seemingly straightforward, was likely influenced by a combination of personal preference and strategic consideration. It is a reminder that even celebrities are governed by boundaries, and that high-profile events require careful curation to maintain their intended atmosphere and meaning. The fallout from this interaction quickly became a matter of public fascination. Social media platforms erupted with speculation, commentary, and debate. Fans of both Meghan Markle and Taylor Swift weighed in, offering their interpretations, opinions, and critiques. Hashtags began trending, and news outlets seized upon the story, framing it as a clash between two cultural icons. The public's engagement with this narrative is a testament to the pervasive interest in celebrity interactions, particularly when they involve figures whose lives straddle multiple spheres of influence, from royalty to music to professional sports. Every aspect of Meghan's request and Taylor's response was analyzed, dissected, and reframed in countless narratives across media outlets. This amplification is both inevitable and telling. It underscores how private interactions in celebrity culture are often transformed into public spectacles, with consequences that extend far beyond the individuals directly involved. At the heart of this story is a tension between personal desire and social dynamics. Meghan Markle's request is a human act, a desire to be part of a meaningful moment in someone else's life. Taylor Swift's refusal is similarly human, an exercise of personal boundaries and agency. The drama emerges not from the individuals themselves but from the collision of their worlds and the public's fascination with the interplay of fame, influence, and access. This is a story about power, privilege, and social negotiation, and it resonates because it reflects broader human experiences. The longing to be included, the pain of exclusion, and the strategies we employ to navigate complex social networks. It is a narrative that is deeply relatable, even when set against the backdrop of extraordinary wealth, fame, and visibility. As we begin to explore the details of this encounter, it is essential to consider the broader implications for Meghan Markle's public image. Her request to attend Taylor Swift's wedding is not an isolated incident. It is part of a pattern of behavior in which she engages with high-profile figures and public events to maintain visibility and influence. Each interaction is carefully observed and interpreted by the media and public alike. The consequences of Taylor Swift's refusal extend beyond the immediate moment, shaping perceptions of Meghan's social acumen, her sense of entitlement, and her ability to navigate elite networks. The story thus operates on multiple levels, as a personal anecdote, as celebrity gossip, and as a case study in social dynamics and public perception. Finally, it is important to note that this chapter is just the beginning of a much larger narrative. Meghan Markle's request, Taylor Swift's refusal, and the subsequent public discourse set the stage for an exploration of broader themes. The rules of celebrity etiquette, the negotiation of privacy and access, and the strategic considerations that govern interactions among high-profile figures. As we move forward, we will delve deeper into the specifics of the wedding, the personalities involved, and the reactions that have made this story a cultural phenomenon. Each layer of this narrative adds depth, context, and intrigue, providing viewers with a comprehensive understanding of not only what happened but why it matters, how it resonates, and what it reveals about the complex worlds these women inhabit. Taylor Swift's weddings have always been more than just ceremonies. They are meticulously curated events that reflect her persona, her artistic vision, and her carefully maintained public image. When it was announced that she would be marrying NFL star Travis Kelce, the anticipation reached a fever pitch. Fans, media outlets, and celebrity watchers immediately began speculating about every possible detail. The venue, the guest list, the style of the ceremony, and even the potential surprises hidden in every corner of the event. Taylor Swift has always been a master at blending personal authenticity with public spectacle, and this wedding promised to be no different. Another layer of the story lies in the symbolic meaning of the wedding itself. For Taylor Swift, the event is more than a personal milestone. It is a statement about identity, agency, and the power to control one's narrative. Every detail, from the selection of guests to the ceremony's tone, conveys intentionality. The wedding operates as both a personal celebration and a public declaration. It reflects the couple's values, priorities, and social philosophy. By declining Meghan Markle's request, Taylor reinforces the notion that personal events are guided by intentionality, not obligation or external pressure. It is a demonstration of autonomy and a reminder that even celebrities operate within frameworks of personal choice and strategic decision-making. The exclusivity of the wedding also serves as a lens through which to view broader celebrity culture. In an era of constant media exposure, privacy becomes a rare commodity. High-profile events like Taylor Swift's wedding are carefully managed to balance celebration with discretion. Every guest, every interaction, and every appearance contributes to the overall narrative. Meghan Markle's potential attendance, given her global notoriety, carried risks that could disrupt the carefully maintained environment. Taylor Swift's decision to exclude her reflects an understanding of these dynamics, a deliberate act to preserve the sanctity and cohesion of the event. By exploring these wedding secrets, it becomes clear why Meghan's request was denied. It was not a reflection of animosity or personal dislike. Rather, it was a consequence of meticulous planning, boundary setting, and strategic curation. Taylor Swift's refusal underscores the complexity of high-profile interactions, where personal preference, privacy, logistics, and narrative coherence all intersect. The story reveals the intricate social dance of celebrity culture, where every decision carries meaning, and where the presence or absence of a single individual can alter the entire narrative. As we move forward, the story will delve deeper into the specific reasons behind Taylor Swift's response, the reactions from Meghan Markle and the public, and the broader implications for celebrity interactions and social dynamics. We will examine how personal relationships, reputation management, and strategic communication all converge in this single, high-stakes moment. The story of Meghan Markle's request to attend Taylor Swift's wedding is not just about a denied invitation. It is a window into the worlds of power, influence, and human behavior that govern the lives of public figures. It is a narrative rich with lessons, insights, and drama, setting the stage for the unfolding chapters of this extraordinary tale. The moment that would soon become a cultural talking point began quietly, almost imperceptibly, in a private space far removed from the flashing cameras and public scrutiny that defined both Meghan Markle and Taylor Swift's lives. Meghan's request, sent with the careful precision and strategic awareness she has honed over years in the spotlight, landed in the hands of Taylor Swift and her inner circle. At first glance, it was a simple query, an inquiry into the possibility of attending a wedding. But beneath that surface lay layers of intention, expectation, and potential impact. What Taylor Swift chose to do in response would not only determine Meghan's access to the event, but would reverberate across social media, celebrity gossip channels, and public discourse. Taylor Swift is renowned not just for her music, but for her meticulous control over her personal narrative and boundaries. She has consistently demonstrated an acute awareness of the implications of her choices, particularly regarding public appearances and private events. Whether it's deciding which friends to include in her life, which collaborators to work with, or which aspects of her personal life to share, Taylor operates with a level of intentionality that is almost surgical. When Meghan Markle's request arrived, it was weighed against this carefully constructed framework. Each decision Taylor makes is informed by a combination of personal preference, strategic planning, and an understanding of the broader narrative implications. In declining the request, she was not merely saying no. She was asserting agency, reinforcing boundaries, and maintaining the cohesion of a meticulously planned personal event. Sources close to Taylor's team suggest that the response to Meghan's request was firm but tactful. In celebrity culture, refusals are rarely blunt. They are crafted to communicate boundaries without creating unnecessary drama or conflict. Taylor's decision to decline Meghan's attendance reportedly reflected both logistical concerns and personal considerations. The wedding, already an elaborate and exclusive affair, could not accommodate last-minute additions without disrupting carefully orchestrated arrangements. Moreover, Taylor's assessment of Meghan's potential impact on the event likely factored into the decision. Meghan's presence, given her global recognition and the media attention she commands, could have overshadowed other aspects of the ceremony or altered the intended ambience. In this context, the refusal was as much about preserving the experience as it was about social dynamics. The refusal itself became a story because of the personalities involved. Meghan Markle, former royalty and media sensation, carries with her a history of public fascination and scrutiny. Every action she takes is observed, analyzed, and interpreted, often with conflicting narratives about her motivations and character. Taylor Swift, equally prominent in her sphere, is a figure whose life and decisions are similarly dissected by fans and media alike. The intersection of these two worlds, a former duchess seeking access to a private celebrity event, was bound to attract attention, but the nature of the rejection added fuel to the fire. Reports indicate that Taylor did not respond with hostility, yet the denial was unequivocal, leaving no ambiguity about her stance. In celebrity circles, clarity in communication is as important as diplomacy. Taylor's response conveyed both respect and firmness, a delicate balance that underscores her understanding of social nuance and personal boundaries. The broader implications of this rejection extend beyond the individuals involved. In the age of social media, news spreads rapidly, and private decisions quickly become public narratives. Once details of Meghan's request and Taylor's response leaked, whether through intermediaries, industry insiders, or social media speculation, the story gained momentum. Headlines framed it as a clash of titans, former royalty versus pop culture royalty. Fans, commentators, and casual observers alike debated motivations, judgments, and potential consequences. The public was fascinated not merely by the denial itself but by what it represented: the limits of influence, the exercise of personal agency, and the navigation of complex social hierarchies in the world of high-profile figures. It is essential to understand the psychological dimensions of this refusal. For Meghan Markle, being denied access to a high-profile wedding, particularly one involving a figure as culturally significant as Taylor Swift, may have triggered a complex mix of emotions: surprise, disappointment, and perhaps even frustration. The denial is a reminder that public recognition and influence do not automatically translate into personal access or acceptance. For Taylor Swift, asserting boundaries in this way is an exercise of control, a reaffirmation that personal events are governed by personal choice rather than external pressure. The interplay of these emotions, desire, denial, and agency, forms the core tension of the narrative, offering insight into human behavior and social negotiation at the highest levels of celebrity. To further understand the significance of this moment, one must consider Taylor Swift's history with guest lists and private events. Taylor has consistently curated her intimate gatherings with precision, prioritizing long-standing friendships, trusted collaborators, and individuals who align with the personal ethos of the event. High-profile figures, regardless of fame, are not automatically included. Their presence is evaluated based on relational history, trust, and compatibility with the intended environment. Meghan Markle, despite her global recognition, did not meet these criteria in this particular context, illustrating that even figures of extraordinary influence are subject to social boundaries and norms. Taylor's response, therefore, is consistent with a broader pattern of thoughtful decision-making and deliberate control over her private life. The public's reaction to the rejection further amplified its impact. As soon as news circulated, social media platforms lit up with speculation, analysis, and commentary. Fans of both Meghan Markle and Taylor Swift weighed in, offering diverse interpretations of the event. Some framed the refusal as a clear assertion of boundaries, praising Taylor for protecting her personal space. Others speculated about potential underlying tensions between royalty and celebrity culture, questioning whether Meghan's public persona influenced the decision. The story rapidly evolved beyond a simple denial, becoming a narrative that examined power dynamics, social expectations, and cultural symbolism. Each new article, tweet, or post added layers of interpretation, making the refusal a topic of widespread discourse. The rejection also serves as a case study in celebrity etiquette and public perception. In a world where private actions are constantly scrutinized, the way high-profile individuals navigate requests and refusals becomes a matter of strategic communication. Taylor Swift's response exemplifies the delicate balance required, maintaining personal boundaries while avoiding unnecessary controversy. The clarity and firmness of the refusal prevent ambiguity, yet the tactful approach ensures that it does not escalate into overt conflict. This is a lesson in both diplomacy and social strategy, demonstrating how decisions in private spaces can have significant public consequences. Finally, Taylor Swift's rejection of Meghan Markle underscores a broader truth about human interactions, even in celebrity culture. Boundaries matter, intentions are scrutinized, and every action carries weight. The denial is not simply a story about exclusion. It is about the assertion of agency, the careful management of relationships, and the navigation of complex social landscapes. For Meghan Markle, the refusal may have been a personal setback, but it also provides insight into the limits of influence and the importance of understanding social context. For Taylor Swift, the decision reinforces her autonomy, her meticulous attention to detail, and her ability to balance personal priorities with public perception. This chapter sets the stage for further exploration of the story, including Meghan's history with celebrity social circles, Taylor Swift's philosophy on loyalty and privacy, and the reactions of fans, insiders, and the media. As we move into the next sections, we will uncover deeper layers of context, analyze the strategic and emotional dimensions of the rejection, and explore the broader implications for both Meghan Markle and Taylor Swift in the world of celebrity culture. The story of this refusal is more than a single act. It is a lens through which to understand fame, influence, and the human desire for inclusion, recognition, and respect. Meghan Markle's life has always occupied a unique position at the intersection of celebrity, royalty, and public fascination. Even before her marriage to Prince Harry, she had navigated Hollywood's complex social hierarchies, forming connections, building networks, and carefully managing her public image. Her entrance into the British royal family elevated her profile to unprecedented levels, transforming her from a Hollywood actress into a global figure whose every move was scrutinized by media and public alike. Understanding Meghan's history with celebrity social circles is essential to contextualize the significance of her request to attend Taylor Swift's wedding and the implications of the refusal she received. Before her royal life, Meghan was no stranger to the world of influence and high-profile networking. Her acting career in Los Angeles placed her in proximity to some of the most prominent figures in entertainment. She attended film premieres, charity galas, and social events, each providing opportunities to forge relationships with industry insiders, fellow actors, and cultural influencers. These early experiences shaped her understanding of how social circles operate, the unspoken rules of inclusion, and the subtle art of positioning oneself in networks of power. Meghan learned to navigate these environments with a combination of charm, strategic visibility, and professional acumen, skills that would later prove crucial as she moved into even higher-stakes arenas. The transition from Hollywood actress to royal family member dramatically altered Meghan's social landscape. Suddenly, she was not only navigating celebrity circles but also the centuries-old hierarchies of royalty. This dual existence, straddling the worlds of entertainment and monarchy, required a nuanced understanding of both spheres. Within celebrity circles, access and influence are often based on relationships, reputation, and visibility. Within royal circles, protocol, tradition, and discretion govern interactions. Meghan's position demanded an ability to balance these contrasting norms, maintaining her authenticity while respecting the rigid expectations of the monarchy. This balancing act shaped her approach to social interactions, including requests to attend exclusive events like Taylor Swift's wedding. Throughout her public life, Meghan has cultivated a network of high-profile acquaintances and allies. Some of these connections were established through professional collaboration, while others emerged from philanthropic work, social events, and mutual friendships. Her involvement in charitable organizations, advocacy work, and high-profile public appearances allowed her to build relationships with influential figures in entertainment, sports, and politics. These connections are both a reflection of her status and a tool for maintaining influence and visibility. Each interaction within these circles is carefully managed, with attention to optics, social dynamics, and potential outcomes. Meghan's request to attend Taylor Swift's wedding fits within this pattern. It is both a personal desire and a strategic social move. However, Meghan's interactions within celebrity circles have not always been smooth. Media coverage often highlights instances where her public persona, assertiveness, or strategic decisions have caused friction or controversy. Some observers perceive her as ambitious or assertive, while others view her as navigating the pressures of fame and public expectation. These perceptions influence how other celebrities respond to her outreach, including invitations to private events. When a high-profile figure like Meghan requests access to an exclusive gathering, hosts must weigh not only the personal relationship but also potential media implications and public perception. This is the context in which Taylor Swift's refusal should be understood. It is not merely a matter of personal preference, but a reflection of the complex dynamics that govern inclusion in elite social circles. Meghan's history also includes patterns of publicized interactions and alliances with celebrities. From attending award shows to participating in charity initiatives, she has repeatedly positioned herself in environments where visibility and social capital are at play. These actions are not merely performative. They are strategic, reflecting an understanding of how relationships, media exposure, and public perception intersect. Each engagement is an opportunity to reinforce her image, cultivate alliances, and assert her relevance within both celebrity and broader cultural contexts. The request to attend Taylor Swift's wedding can be seen as a continuation of this approach, a calculated effort to engage with another high-profile figure in a controlled and socially meaningful way. Analyzing Meghan's past interactions provides insight into the potential motivations behind her request. She has demonstrated a consistent interest in aligning herself with influential figures, whether for personal relationships, charitable endeavors, or public visibility. This strategy reflects an understanding of social hierarchies and the power of association. By attending an event like Taylor Swift's wedding, Meghan would not merely be a guest. She would be participating in a curated environment that signals belonging, influence, and cultural relevance. The refusal, therefore, carries implications beyond a single event. It affects how Meghan's presence in elite social spaces is perceived, how her relationships are managed, and how her public image is constructed. The social dynamics of celebrity circles are inherently complex. Inclusion and exclusion are influenced by a combination of personal relationships, shared history, reputation, and strategic considerations. Celebrities must balance personal desire with professional considerations, ensuring that their presence enhances rather than disrupts the social environment. Meghan Markle's request, while consistent with her pattern of engagement in elite networks, challenged these dynamics. Taylor Swift's decision to decline her attendance illustrates the careful negotiation required in such settings. It is a demonstration of personal agency, social strategy, and the maintenance of boundaries that preserve the integrity of an event. Public perception plays a significant role in these dynamics. Meghan's request and the subsequent refusal became a subject of widespread speculation and discussion. Fans, media outlets, and social commentators debated the motivations, implications, and fairness of Taylor Swift's decision. Some interpreted the refusal as a deliberate snub, while others viewed it as a routine exercise of personal boundaries. This discourse highlights the heightened stakes of celebrity interactions. Private decisions are amplified into public narratives, shaping reputations, social capital, and cultural perception. Meghan's history with celebrity circles provides context for understanding why her request generated such interest and why the refusal resonated so strongly with audiences. The broader narrative of Meghan's engagement with high-profile figures also reveals patterns of ambition, visibility, and negotiation. Throughout her career, she has strategically positioned herself to maintain relevance, foster influence, and cultivate a public persona that bridges multiple worlds. This approach involves navigating both opportunities and obstacles, understanding the limits of influence, and recognizing when boundaries are being tested. The refusal from Taylor Swift represents one of these moments, a boundary that highlights the limits of social access, even for someone of Meghan Markle's stature. It is a reminder that influence is relative, context-dependent, and contingent upon both personal relationships and broader social dynamics. Finally, understanding Meghan's history with celebrity social circles allows us to appreciate the layered complexity of the story. Her request to attend Taylor Swift's wedding is not an isolated act but part of a continuum of engagement, strategy, and social navigation. The refusal, while simple in action, is rich in meaning. Taylor Swift is a figure whose public persona is meticulously curated, yet it is her private philosophy on loyalty and privacy that has consistently guided her most important decisions. To truly understand why she declined Meghan Markle's request to attend her wedding with Travis Kelce, it is essential to examine how Taylor approaches relationships, trust, and personal boundaries. While her music often reflects universal themes of love, betrayal, and personal growth, her real-life actions demonstrate a commitment to protecting her inner circle and the sanctity of private events. The refusal to include Meghan was not a spontaneous decision. It was deeply rooted in Taylor's long-standing approach to loyalty, privacy, and the management of her personal life amidst the glare of public scrutiny. Taylor's loyalty is legendary in celebrity circles. She maintains deep, enduring friendships with individuals who have been part of her life over the years, often celebrating milestones with those she considers part of her core circle. In interviews and documentaries, she has spoken about the importance of surrounding herself with people who share values, respect boundaries, and have demonstrated trustworthiness. This philosophy is reflected in her invitations to personal events. She prioritizes those who have earned a place in her life over those whose connection is primarily public, professional, or transactional. By declining Meghan Markle, Taylor reinforced this principle. While Meghan is undeniably high-profile, her direct interactions with Taylor may have been limited, and the connection, if any, was not one built over years of personal trust. Privacy is another cornerstone of Taylor Swift's philosophy. Despite being one of the most recognized musicians in the world, she has consistently sought to protect intimate aspects of her life from public intrusion. Over the years, she has cultivated a reputation for controlling the narrative surrounding her personal experiences, whether it's through selective social media posts, controlled media interviews, or the private nature of her events. Taylor understands that celebrity life comes with intense scrutiny and that public appearances, especially at personal milestones like weddings, can be interpreted and misinterpreted in ways that go far beyond the immediate context. Protecting her privacy is not only a matter of personal comfort, but also a strategic effort to preserve the integrity of her life's narrative. This loyalty and privacy philosophy is evident in the way Taylor manages her relationships with high-profile figures. Over the years, she has established patterns for how she engages with celebrities, public figures, and influencers. Invitations to intimate gatherings are based on trust, shared history, and the expectation that the individual will respect the private nature of the event. Taylor's refusal to Meghan was consistent with these patterns. It is not a reflection of personal animosity but an adherence to a principle that prioritizes trusted, long-term relationships over opportunistic visibility. This approach has allowed Taylor to maintain her personal integrity while navigating the pressures of fame, a balancing act that few public figures manage successfully. To understand the full impact of this decision, it is helpful to examine specific examples from Taylor Swift's past. She has repeatedly demonstrated that loyalty is non-negotiable. Close friends, collaborators, and individuals who have proven their trustworthiness are consistently included in major life events, whether it's album celebrations, birthday gatherings, or intimate weddings. Conversely, those whose connections are fleeting, superficial, or primarily media-driven are often excluded. This pattern reveals a deliberate strategy. Taylor is not swayed by external pressure, public expectation, or the allure of high-profile guests. Her decisions are guided by a consistent framework that values loyalty, privacy, and respect for personal boundaries. The refusal also reflects Taylor's understanding of the broader social dynamics of celebrity life. She recognizes that high-profile events are microcosms of influence, reputation, and social signaling. The guest list is not just about personal preference. It communicates values, priorities, and social hierarchy. Including someone like Meghan Markle could have sent unintended signals, both within the celebrity ecosystem and to the public. It might have suggested endorsement, alignment, or approval that Taylor was not prepared to communicate. By exercising discretion and declining the request, Taylor maintained control over the narrative, ensuring that the wedding remained a reflection of her personal choices and values, rather than an arena for public interpretation or speculation. Another factor in Taylor's loyalty and privacy philosophy is her acute awareness of past experiences. Over the years, she has learned that inclusion in private events can carry risks: media attention, misinterpretation, and potential disruption of personal spaces. This is particularly relevant when dealing with figures whose lives are under constant scrutiny. Meghan Markle, as a former royal and global celebrity, attracts immense media attention wherever she goes. Taylor's decision to decline her attendance is consistent with a broader pattern of protecting intimate moments from unnecessary exposure. It is a proactive measure that ensures the event remains personal, controlled, and true to the couple's vision. Taylor's approach to loyalty and privacy also includes the idea of reciprocity and mutual respect. Invitations to private events are a reflection of a relationship that has been cultivated over time. Trust is earned through consistency, shared experiences, and respect for boundaries. Taylor's refusal indicates that, in her assessment, the necessary foundation for such inclusion was not present. This is not unusual in celebrity circles, where relationships are carefully managed and inclusion is contingent upon demonstrated respect, trustworthiness, and alignment with the event's ethos. Meghan's global prominence did not override the principles Taylor applies to her personal life, reinforcing the idea that loyalty and trust are valued above notoriety or fame. Public perception and media coverage of the refusal have highlighted the significance of Taylor's philosophy. Commentators have noted that her decision is emblematic of a broader approach to personal life management in the age of celebrity. Taylor's consistent prioritization of loyalty and privacy sets her apart from peers who may be more influenced by media pressure, public expectation, or the potential benefits of high-profile associations. By standing firm, she communicates a clear message. Her personal milestones are guided by principle, not by opportunity or spectacle. This clarity enhances her reputation as a thoughtful, intentional figure who values authenticity and integrity. The broader cultural implications of this philosophy are also noteworthy. In an era dominated by social media, public image, and constant visibility, maintaining loyalty and privacy requires deliberate action. Taylor's refusal of Meghan Markle reflects a conscious effort to navigate these pressures while protecting personal space and relationships. It illustrates a sophisticated understanding of how boundaries, reputation, and social signaling operate in high-profile contexts. This moment, seemingly a simple refusal, is a case study in strategic social management, demonstrating how one individual can assert agency and uphold values in the face of potential public scrutiny. Finally, Taylor Swift's loyalty and privacy philosophy sheds light on why the refusal was not only justified but necessary from her perspective. It is a philosophy rooted in trust, discretion, and the protection of personal narratives. It reflects a commitment to intimate relationships over public spectacle, long-term loyalty over fleeting associations, and careful curation of personal events over media-driven decision-making. For Meghan Markle, the refusal serves as a reminder that even global fame does not guarantee access or inclusion. For the public, it offers insight into the principles that guide one of the most influential figures of our time. Taylor's actions are emblematic of a thoughtful, deliberate approach to life in the spotlight, one that prioritizes integrity, personal values, and the careful management of relationships above all else. As we move forward into the next chapter, we will examine Travis Kelce's influence on the guest list, the dynamics of celebrity and athlete collaboration, and how his presence and preferences shaped the final decisions regarding attendance. This analysis will further illuminate the intricate social and strategic factors that determined why Meghan Markle's request was denied, providing a comprehensive understanding of the forces at play in this high-profile story. Travis Kelce, as one of the most high-profile athletes in the NFL, brings his own unique influence to the table, especially when it comes to personal and social events such as his wedding to Taylor Swift. While Taylor's approach to privacy and loyalty is well documented, it's impossible to fully understand the dynamics of the wedding without considering the significant role that Travis plays in shaping the guest list. His status as a celebrated professional athlete, combined with his personality, network, and reputation, meant that any decisions about attendees had to balance both personal relationships and public perception. Athletes like Travis operate in worlds that are highly public yet deeply networked, where relationships can be both intensely personal and strategically significant. The NFL community, celebrity collaborations, and social connections spanning beyond sports all play a role in determining who is invited to private events. Kelce's relationships with teammates, coaches, former players, and industry insiders carry weight, and his preferences for who attends personal milestones are taken seriously by partners, event planners, and coordinators. The guest list of a wedding is not simply about numbers. It's a curated reflection of shared experiences, loyalty, and the networks that support both personal and professional life. Travis's influence ensured that the wedding maintained a delicate balance between public visibility and intimate authenticity. Reports indicate that Travis Kelce actively collaborated with Taylor Swift in determining the guest list, integrating his own social circles into the process while respecting Taylor's preferences for privacy and loyalty. The complexity of this collaboration cannot be overstated. It required negotiating between overlapping networks, sports, music, entertainment, and close personal friends, each with their own expectations and potential media implications. Decisions about invitations were influenced by factors such as long-standing relationships, trustworthiness, compatibility with the wedding's atmosphere, and the potential for unwanted media scrutiny. In this context, Travis's role was crucial in ensuring that the event remained coherent, intimate, and reflective of both partners' values and priorities. Travis's influence on the guest list also reflects broader patterns of celebrity-athlete collaborations. In high-profile marriages, both parties contribute to decisions about who is included, often balancing the need to honor personal relationships with the demands of public attention. For Travis, this meant evaluating potential guests not only on personal connection but also on their likely impact on the event's atmosphere. Meghan Markle, as a figure whose presence would inevitably attract media attention, may have been viewed as a potential disruptor, even if her intentions were entirely benign. This is not to suggest animosity. Rather, it highlights the careful calibration required in curating a guest list for an event that blends celebrity, sports prominence, and intimate personal celebration. The intersection of celebrity culture and sports culture adds another layer of complexity. Athletes like Travis are accustomed to a public presence that is simultaneously scrutinized and celebrated. Their personal lives are often intertwined with brand partnerships, media exposure, and fan expectations. When it comes to private events, the choice of guests must consider not only the personal significance of the relationship but also the potential for public narrative. In this context, a figure like Meghan Markle, whose life is highly publicized and sometimes controversial, represents both opportunity and risk. Her presence could elevate the profile of the event but also introduce unforeseen media attention or speculation. Travis's influence ensured that these considerations were carefully weighed before final decisions were made. Another aspect of Travis Kelce's role lies in the integration of mutual networks. In any high-profile wedding, the couple's circles often overlap, creating challenges in balancing representation and fairness. Travis's connections in sports, entertainment, and personal life required careful consideration to ensure that invitations reflected both partners' priorities. This collaboration also highlights the strategic thinking involved in event planning at this level. The guest list is a reflection not only of friendship and loyalty but of negotiation, influence, and mutual respect. Travis's influence, therefore, is not about exclusion for personal reasons. It is about maintaining harmony, cohesion, and the intended atmosphere of the wedding. Travis's reputation and personal philosophy further shaped his approach. Known for being personable, loyal to friends, and protective of his private life, Kelce's influence on the guest list reflects these values. Invitations were likely extended to those he trusted to honor the sanctity of the occasion, respect the couple's privacy, and contribute positively to the atmosphere. This is consistent with Taylor Swift's philosophy of loyalty and privacy, creating a unified approach that prioritized intimacy and authenticity over fame or notoriety. The exclusion of Meghan Markle, in this context, becomes understandable not as a slight, but as a strategic decision aligned with the couple's shared priorities. Media speculation about Travis Kelce's involvement has highlighted the nuances of these decisions. Some outlets suggested that his preferences may have been a decisive factor in declining Meghan's request, while others framed the refusal as a mutual decision between the couple. Regardless, it is clear that his influence cannot be underestimated. High-profile athletes often navigate public and private pressures simultaneously, and their input in personal events reflects an understanding of the interplay between relationship dynamics and social optics. Travis's involvement ensured that the wedding remained true to the couple's vision, maintaining control over both the guest experience and the public narrative. Travis's influence also extends to the management of social boundaries. Weddings, particularly those involving high-profile individuals, are microcosms of larger social hierarchies, where inclusion and exclusion communicate subtle messages about relationships, status, and trust. By participating in the decision-making process, Travis helped establish boundaries that preserved the integrity of the event. His perspective likely emphasized the importance of aligning guests with the couple's values and shared vision, rather than responding to external pressures or celebrity allure. In this sense, his role complements Taylor Swift's approach, reinforcing a philosophy of intentionality, discretion, and loyalty. The decision to exclude Meghan Markle illustrates the intersection of influence, reputation, and personal judgment. Travis Kelce's input reflects a careful consideration of potential consequences, balancing the desire for celebration with the need for privacy and coherence. While Meghan's request may have been genuine and well-intentioned, the decision-making framework employed by Taylor and Travis prioritized the integrity of the wedding experience above individual desire or public curiosity. This is a lesson in strategic social management, demonstrating how high-profile figures navigate complex social networks while maintaining control over intimate events. Finally, Travis Kelce's influence provides insight into broader cultural norms surrounding celebrity events. In an era where private moments are often publicized and scrutinized, careful curation of attendees is essential. The collaboration between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce reflects a sophisticated understanding of social dynamics, media management, and personal values. By maintaining control over the guest list, they ensured that the wedding remained a personal milestone, celebrated authentically with trusted individuals, rather than becoming a platform for speculation, controversy, or distraction. Meghan Markle's exclusion is therefore best understood not as a personal affront, but as a reflection of these broader dynamics, highlighting the complex interplay of loyalty, privacy, and strategic decision-making in high-profile social circles. As we move into the next chapter, we will explore the royal factor, why Meghan thought she could be invited, analyzing the influence of her royal background, her public persona, and her previous engagements with high-profile figures. This will provide deeper context for understanding the motivations behind her request and the implications of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's decision. Meghan Markle's life as a member of the British royal family fundamentally transformed her public perception, social reach, and sense of entitlement when it comes to high-profile social events. Her royal title, combined with her Hollywood background, positioned her in a rarefied intersection of fame, influence, and media scrutiny. This unique positioning helps explain why Meghan may have believed that attending Taylor Swift's wedding was not only possible but justifiable. Understanding the royal factor provides insight into her motivations, expectations, and the complex social dynamics that underpinned her request. From the moment Meghan married Prince Harry, her identity became intricately tied to the monarchy. While she embraced the responsibilities of royal life, she also carried with her the cultural cachet of being a global celebrity. Royals, by tradition, are often granted invitations to exclusive events, not merely for their personal connections but as part of the broader network of prestige, protocol, and social diplomacy. Meghan, having lived this life for several years, became accustomed to both the privileges and the implicit social expectations that accompany royalty. Invitations to high-profile events, meetings with influential figures, and attendance at culturally significant ceremonies became normalized elements of her social experience. In this context, sending a request to attend Taylor Swift's wedding may have seemed like a logical extension of her understanding of social access. Her royal background also instilled a sense of confidence in her ability to navigate high-profile social circles. Meghan is known for her poise, assertiveness, and strategic thinking, qualities that were sharpened under the intense scrutiny of royal life. Attending events that bridged the worlds of royalty, celebrity, and philanthropy became second nature, and she developed an understanding of how to leverage connections to gain entry into exclusive circles. Her awareness of influence, social positioning, and public optics likely contributed to the belief that a personal request to Taylor Swift would be considered seriously.